Good morning, class 9. Today we are going to start a new chapter, The Accidental Tourist. They say that the world today is a small place because travel has become easy, but not everybody finds it easy to travel. Here, the author reflects humorously his experiences as a traveler. Of all the things I am not very good at, living in the real world is perhaps the most outstanding. I am constantly filled with wonder at the number of things that other people do without any evident difficulty. There are pretty much beyond me. That means the person is saying that I can see many people do things very conveniently without facing any problem, but I can't do things so easily and simply. I cannot tell you the number of times that I have gone looking for the lavatory, lavatory means the washroom, in a cinema, for instance, and ended up standing in an alley. Alley is a small passage between two buildings or between a number of rooms. If there's a small passage, that will be called as an alley, and ended up standing in an alley on the wrong side of the self locking door. My particular specialty now is returning to the hotel desk 2 or 3 times a day and asking what my room number is. So you can imagine how forgetful this person is. He forgets in which room he has been staying. I am, in short, easily confused. I was thinking about this the last time we went en famille, that means with family, on a big trip. It was at Easter and we were flying to England for a week. When we arrived at Logan Airport in Boston and were checking in, I suddenly remembered that I had recently joined British Airways frequent flyer program. I also remembered that I had put the card in the carry on bag that was hanging around my neck. And here's where the trouble started. The zip on the bag was jammed. So I pulled on it and yanked at it. That means he pulled it again. With grunts and frowns. Grunts is he made low sounds because he was trying hard to pull the zip, and he was frowning, he was becoming angry, and increasing consternation. Consternation means he was worried. His worry was increasing because the bag zip was jammed. I kept this up for some minutes, but it wouldn't budge. That means it did not move. So I pulled harder and harder with more grunts. Well, you can guess what happened. Abruptly, the zip gave way. The side of the bag flew open, and everything within, newspaper cuttings and other loose papers, a 14-ounce tin of pipe tobacco, magazines, passport, English money, film, was extravagantly ejected over an area about the size of a tennis court. So as soon as the zip ran way, everything gave way, everything started pouring out of his bag, whether it was documents, whether it was his passport, etc., etc. I watched dumbstruck. He was surprised that what is happening. I watched dumbstruck. He was silent. He silently watched things pouring out of his bag in surprise as 100 carefully sorted documents came raining down in a fluttery cascade. That means everything, all papers, hundreds of important papers were coming out of his bag because the zip was not working. Coins bounced to a variety of noisy oblivions, and now idleness tin of tobacco rolled crazily across the concourse, disgorging its contents as it went. The meaning of concourse is open area in a public building. and disgorging means discharging. The lid of that box in which tobacco was kept, it opened and the tobacco started spreading in the open area. My tobacco, I cried in horror, thinking what I would have to pay for that much tobacco in England now that another budget had come and gone, and then changed my cry to my finger, my finger, as I discovered that I had gashed my finger in the zip. That means the finger was in between the zip and was shedding blood in a lavish manner. I am not very good around flowing blood generally, but when it's my own, well, I think hysterics are fully justified. That means he becomes mad when he sees his blood flowing out. Confused and unable to help, my hair went into panic mode. It was at this point that my wife looked at me with an expression of wonder, not anger or exasperation. Exasperation means irritation. She was not angry, neither was she irritated, but just simple wonder. She was just simply surprised looking at him. And the surprise showed, what is happening? What are you doing? But just simple wonder, and said, I can't believe you do this for a living. Now, she was not able to believe her eyes that her husband is doing all this nonsense and he is not able to keep things properly. But I am afraid it's so. I always have catastrophes when I travel. He is always very frightened. He does something or the other wrong whenever he travels. Once on an aeroplane, I leaned over to tie a shoelace. Just at the moment, someone in the seat ahead of me threw his seat back into full recline. That means the person bent at the back and the seat went back completely, and found myself pinned helplessly in a crash position. It crashed behind. It was only by clawing the leg of the man sitting next to me that I managed to get myself freed. This man had to take the support of the leg of the man sitting next to him. Then only he could manage himself. On another occasion, I knocked a soft drink onto the lap of a sweet little lady sitting beside me. The flight attendant came and cleaned her up and brought me a replacement drink. But instantly I knocked it onto the woman again. So you can see how careless this man is. Once he knocked the soft drink onto the lap of a sweet little lady who was sitting beside him. Then the flight attendant brought another supplement and he knocked the second supplement drink also on a woman. To this day, I don't know how I did it. I just remember reaching out for the new drink and watching helplessly as my arm, like some cheap prop in one of those 1950s horror movies with a name like The Undead Limb, violently swept the drink from its perch and onto her lap. Now the third time again, he made the drink fall on the lap of the lady. The lady looked at me with the stupefied expression. She was surprised. What is happening? You would expect to receive from someone whom you have repeatedly drenched 3 times. He made the drink fall on that lady. Now the lady was totally surprised. What the hell is happening? What nonsense is going on? The lady looked at me with the stupefied expression you would expect to receive from someone whom you have repeatedly drenched, and uttered an oath that started with "oh," finished with "sake," and in between had some words that I have never heard uttered in public before, certainly not by a nun. This, however, was not my worst experience on a plane flight. My worst experience was when I was writing important thoughts in a notebook. Buy socks, clutch drinks carefully, etc. Sucking thoughtfully on the end of my pen as you do. You must have also seen many people, even students, have a habit that when they think something, they keep their pen inside their mouth. They suck their pen, and sometimes ink is there on your lips. And fell into the conversation with an attractive young lady in the next seat. I amused her for about 20 minutes with a scattering of urbane bons mots, then retired to the lavatory where I discovered that the pen had leaked. And that my mouth, chin, tongue, teeth, and gums were now a striking, scrub resistant navy blue and would remain so for several days. So, when he went to the washroom, he saw that the pen which he was sucking, that was leaking, and all round his lips he had navy blue color ink, and he could not clean it easily. It could not be cleaned fast, and it remained for several days. So you will understand, I trust, when I tell you how much I ache to be soft, how much I try to be polite. I would love just once in my life to rise from a dinner table without looking as if I have just experienced an extremely localized seismic event. Seismic event means earthquake. I am reading this again. I would love just once in my life to rise from a dinner table without looking as if I have just experienced an extremely localized seismic event. This line shows that whenever this man used to sit on the dining table to eat or drink something, he must have been in a habit of spilling food. He used to drop food here and there, drop water here and there, as if there was some earthquake, and because of that the food or the water has spread all around. Get in a car and close the door without leaving 14 inches of coat outside. Wear light colored trousers without discovering at the end of the day that I have at various times sat on chewing gum, ice cream, cough syrup, and motor oil. Can you imagine how careless this man is? He used to wear trousers, and by the end of the day, he had been sitting on the chewing gum, on the ice cream, cough syrup, and motor oil. Can you imagine how dirty he used to make his clothes? But it is not to be. Now, on planes, when the food is delivered, my wife says, "Take the lids off the food for daddy, or put your hoods up, children." That means instead of asking her husband to be more careful, she used to tell her children that now the food has come, remove the lid, children, take the lid off so that daddy can see what kind of food is there in the container and he can behave properly. Or put your hoods up, children. Put your heads up. Sit straight. Now your daddy is about to eat his food. Daddy is about to cut his meat. So he will cut his meat. God knows where the meat is going to go, where the knife is going to go. So the children were made cautious. When I am on my own, I don't eat, drink, or lean over to tie my shoelaces. When I am on my own, that means when I travel alone, I don't eat because I am so careless. I don't drink, or I don't lean over to tie my shoelaces, and never put a pen anywhere near my mouth. I just sit very, very quietly, sometimes on my hands, to keep them from flying out unexpectedly and causing liquid mischief. That means he was so careless that he used to stretch his hands here and there, and he used to stretch his hands so much that suppose a passenger is sitting next to him holding a glass of water in his hand, or any cold drink or any coffee in his hand, then the person here who is describing his carelessness, he would stretch his right hand, for example, then the liquid will spill everywhere. So he is saying that whenever I travel alone, I sit very, very quietly, and sometimes on my hands, I sit on my hands so that I can prevent my hands from stretching on either side and causing liquid mischief. That means preventing myself from dropping any liquid. It's not much fun, but it does at least cut down on the laundry bills. He says that when I sit like this, at least I don't make my clothes dirty because I don't drop anything on my clothes, and this prevents laundry bills. I never did get my frequent flyer miles, by the way. I never do. I couldn't find the card in time. This has become a real frustration for me. Everyone I know, everyone is forever flying off to Bali first class with their air miles. I never get to collect anything. I must fly 1 lakh miles a year, yet I have accumulated only about 212 air miles divided between 23 airlines. This is because either I forget to ask for the air miles when I check in, or I remember to ask for them but the airline then manages not to record them, or the check-in clerk informs me that I am not entitled to them. In January, on a flight to Australia, a flight for which I was going to get about a zillion air miles, the clerk shook her head when I presented my card and told me that I was not entitled to any. Why? The ticket is in the name of B. Bryson and the card is in the name of W. Bryson. I explained to her the close and venerable relationship between Bill and William, but she wouldn't have it. So I didn't get any air miles, and I won't be flying to Bali first class just yet. Perhaps just as well, really, I could never go that long without eating. So he is saying that he is not able to get the benefits which he can get from the airlines, because sometimes he is late in telling the airlines officials, and sometimes either he forgets his card or he forgets something or the other, so he is unable to get all those benefits which he can get from the airlines while he has been traveling for so many miles. So this is how this careless person spends his time whenever he is traveling from one place to another place. Read the chapter again, children, and see the PDF for the question answers.